Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SI Cricket Talks. Today, we will look at Dimuth Karunaratne. Now, as we all know, Dimuth announced his retirement uh, in the final test match against Australia 2025, the second test match, which will be a landmark for him as he will be playing his 100th test match. And as he said in his statement, that his goal was 10,000 runs, but due to Sri Lanka playing very few test cricket, which is poor from a top cricketing nation, he chooses to retire to give way to the youngsters and uh, to uh, start the new chapter of Sri Lankan cricket. And I believe it is a very wise and respectable move. And he also added in the statement that he spoke with other senior players, such as Angelo Matthews and Dinesh Chandimal, and they agreed that it's better for them to go one at a time than all of them together. Last time, when Sri Lanka had a bulk retirement of senior players, Sri Lanka went into a deep hole. So, this is very good as it will ensure that that mistake is not repeated again. Now, Dimuth Karunaratne has been one of Sri Lanka's best test batters. He will become the seventh Sri Lankan to play 100 test matches. He has played 99 matches so far. He's batted in 189 innings. He has seven not outs, 7,172 runs, highest score of 244, average just below 40 at 39.40, 16 centuries, and 39 50s. He has been a very good server to Sri Lankan cricket. 2000, he made his debut a lot earlier, but 2014-15 is when he really made a mark for himself. And after the retirement of Sri Lankan legends Kumar Sangakkara, Mahela Jayawardene, and Tilakaratne Dilshan, uh, he really took over and has produced some very good innings for Sri Lanka up top in an opening position when Sri Lanka had a very fragile batting order. Now his retirement, I think it is due. I think it's a good time for him to retire. He's gonna be 30, turning 37 in a couple of months' time. So I think this is just about the time he's gone. He has become a very good serve to Sri Lanka cricket and even world cricket. He's one of those quiet performers. He's not popular in social media. He doesn't get into any controversy. He just comes, play his cricket, and he just does the basic. And he's a well-disciplined cricketer, and he has a lot. He had a lot of character that made him a good cricketer. So we have. So let's hope that the retirement, and let's wish him this retirement will give him good joy. And he, as he said, he plans to move to Australia, migrate there with his family. So let's wish him all the very best for that, and we hope to see him, in Sri Lankan cricket as a coach, as a mentor, because his advice will really help young cricketers coming in to the Sri Lankan cricketing cycle. So if we look at Dimuth, right, he in the recent few months, aside from that tour of New Zealand to Sri Lanka, where he scored 83 runs, 88, I believe, or 83, I'm not sure on that. And he also scored 42. Aside from that, he really hasn't scored much, struggled a lot in South Africa, didn't do anything significant against Australia. And even in the first test here against Australia, he did not do much. So he'll be hoping that in his final test, he can contribute. And we Sri Lankan cricket fans also hope that they could retire with a win and with a good performance on his bat, ideally a century or two. That would be a fitting end to a very good batsman who's capable of batting long hours in the crease. And with Dimuth, he's been hailed as a second innings specialist, as he scores very well in second innings. We'd love to see him give one of that gutty Dimuth Karunaratne innings. Out of his So in his stats, if you look, he has 16 centuries and 30 and 38 50s. So let's look at some of 39 50s, I beg your pardon. So let's look at some of Dimuth Karunaratne's stats. Let's partly look at his 100. So his first 100. 152 against New Zealand in Christchurch back in 2014. Like I said, 2014-15 was Dimuth's coming to age, and that century, despite Sri Lanka losing, was a very good gutty century in away foreign conditions. That 152, I can vaguely remember it. That has to be one of Dimuth's best innings. After that, he followed up with 130 against Pakistan, 189 against West Indies, 110 against Zimbabwe, 126 in Bangladesh, 141 against India, which was in a losing cause, but it was almost a match-saving innings by him. 169 against Pakistan in Dubai. That was an innings I remember, and that is one of my favorite innings of Dimuth Karunaratne. 152 against South Africa in goal. That was a brilliant knock by himself. 122 against New Zealand in the Goal Stadium. That is my favorite innings of Dimuth Karunaratne. That was in a chase, and he batted very well. And then 120, 103 against Zimbabwe. And then after that, he went into a purple patch in 2021, 241 against Bangladesh, 118 against Bangladesh, and 147 against West Indies. And all of these, most of his centuries have actually come in Galle International Stadium, which is not easy for batters to bat, especially in the second innings. And Dimuth has actually made second innings bat looking very easy, hence the name second innings specialist. After that, he scored 107 against India in Bangalore, which Sri Lanka lost the day-night test, but that innings was significant. Very tough. Indian bowlers were all over the place, and he stood tall with a brilliant century. And then, of course, he scored in his last two centuries against Ireland in 2023, 179 and 151 was his last two centuries. So let's hope that tomorrow, tomorrow is the start of the second test, which is Dimuth's final test. Let's hope that he can give us 100 as a farewell gift, and hopefully the team can give him a win as a much deserved farewell gift for a great of Sri Lankan cricket. I'm not sure if you can put Dimuth in the same tier as Mahela Jayawardene, Kumar Sangakkara, Aravind De Silva, Muthamul or Chaminda Was, but I am very sure you can put him up there as one of the best servers for Sri Lankan cricket. Now, when it comes to his 50s, Dimuth has 39 50s. His most recent 50 being against New Zealand, being against, being against New Zealand, which, he could have made that into a century. Unfortunately, he playing a sweep, dragged it on, and then he got run out for 42. So his last really contributing innings came against New Zealand. So let's hope that he can give something of remarkable against Australia tomorrow. I hope he can score a century. Let's see what he will perform. And Dimuth also, aside from Test cricket, he did play ODIs for Sri Lanka. Nothing significant. He has 100, an average of 33. He scored about 1,116 runs and played around 50 matches. But Test is where Dimuth has been. He is a Test specialist for Sri Lanka, and he is very good of one of that. He has a good technique, and he will accumulate runs. He is someone who can bat long and will bat deep. He also had Sri Lanka in captaincy stint when he captained Sri Lanka in 2019 World Cup, and then I think he captained up until 2021. He did a fairly decent job. Under his captaincy, of course, we won in South Africa. That was a remarkable captaincy. Under him, it was a very inexperienced side, but Kushal Perera's brilliant innings, along with some brilliant batting in the second innings, made sure Sri Lanka would prevail victorious in a great, great series. That one remarkable series. Sri Lanka is until today, till date, the only team to win a test series in South Africa. Only Asian team to win a test series in South Africa. So Dimuth has produced magnificent innings, and let me know below on the comments what is your favorite Dimuth Karunaratne innings, your favorite Dimuth Karunaratne moment. For me particularly, it has to be the hundreds. He's 122 against New Zealand, he's 158 against South Africa, 156 against Pakistan, he's 141 against India, and of course his maiden century 152. Those will be my top 5 innings of Dimuth Karunaratne. He has scored some good 50s, and he had a good captaincy stint. So I think he will be missed. But like I said, it is time for him to retire. So he's turning 37. He hasn't really scored much in the last few series. And as a senior player, this is a very good and smart thing to do. Highly commendable and highly respectable. And I think if he didn't choose to retire and he didn't score well in tomorrow's test match, he most likely would have been dropped, and he might have been forced out of the team, forced into retirement without even getting a farewell match, which has happened to Sri Lankan legends before, such as Nuwan Kulasekara and many more, who did not get a farewell match, which they much deserved because they did not go on time. They were out of form. They stayed in the team. They got dropped in the team. They weren't getting any matches. Eventually, they were forced into retiring. They retired, did not get a farewell match, which is very sad. Which is very saddening to see. So Dimuth, being a very good server of Sri Lankan cricket, deserves a farewell match. So it's a very good and smart choice from him. Let's hope the Sri Lankan team can rally behind and give him a good victory. Dimuth's stats even in first class is superb. In first class he has around 15,000, close to 16,000 runs, average of 40 plus, 47 centuries. Uh, best score is 244, which is international record as well. But he has just been brilliant for Sri Lankan cricket, especially in Test cricket, and he will be missed. But I feel like it's right time for him to retire. Nisanka has done well as an opener, and there are many other batters knocking on the sideline. So it's time for Dimuth to make way. It's a highly respectable and commendable decision for him, and we at SI Cricket Talks wish Dimuth Karunaratne all the best for his future. We hope that whatever endeavor he goes into after retirement in Australia or whether in Sri Lanka, we hope it will give him immense success. And on behalf of all Sri Lankan cricket fans and SI Cricket Talks, I would like to thank Dimuth Karunaratne for his brilliant service to Sri Lankan cricket and wish him all the very best. Thank you for watching, and make sure to leave a comment on what you thought about the video, your favorite moment on Dimuth Karunaratne, whether you think that this is the right time for Dimuth Karunaratne to retire or not. Just leave it in the comment and we can discuss it on future videos. So let's hope that Sri Lanka will win the match tomorrow and give Dimuth that much deserved winning farewell. That's all from SR Cricket Talks now. Stay tuned for more updates. Once again, I'm Shuzini Fami.